It's come to my attention that the Republican Party has been having some PR issues with minorities, that they're not doing real well in that area. And I believe it's because of the way that the mainstream media is always playing the race card. They're always making things appear racist when they're totally not. Let me give you some examples. Now, right now, with some of the things going on in our country, us Republicans talk a lot about the founding fathers and how they would have never went for these taxes that we have today, or these restrictions on gun ownership, or anything like that, and how their wisdom was so much greater than the wisdom of our top officials today. And now, obviously, somebody could mention, weren't the founding fathers all slave owners? And it's like they think that we believe that was okay, that it was fine to own slaves. And that's not the case at all. I'm not saying that it's a good thing to own slaves. What we're saying is that it's just not really that big of a thing. I mean, the founding fathers can still be just infinitely wiser than anyone today, even though they did believe that slavery was okay. But that doesn't mean that they didn't have a rich understanding of the human needs. I mean, because your beliefs about whether or not it's okay to enslave a race of people, that's such a small percentage of your worldview. That's all we're saying. Not that it's good, just that it's not that important. And then, of course, we have problems because of this. I mean, I don't get it. We're a party that stresses the views and the values of our founding fathers, and yet we seem to attract nothing but upper-class white people. I mean, what a non sequitur. Founding fathers, upper-class white people. I mean, where's the connection here? Another thing conservatives talk a lot about is the good old days. This country was once great. We used to have values and morals, and we just were a nation that was all about just strong families, and the good old 1950s TV shows. And that was our country. That was America at its finest. Leave It to Beaver, the Waltons. I mean, that was America. Lemonade, apple pie. But of course, now you might say, well, while you were having your apple pie, weren't black people being discriminated against horribly? I mean, denied the same opportunities as white people, and wasn't segregation rampant in the South? And didn't people have a lot of racist attitudes? And it's like someone believes that we would say that was okay and that was good. No, we're not saying that at all. Just because we lament the passing of this gem of our nation's history, and that we look back on it with nostalgia, that doesn't mean that we think that the racism was good, that the segregation was good. We just don't believe that it was all that big of a deal. I mean, yes, ideally the civil rights movement would happen, but if we had to give the civil rights movement up to go back to that time where we could sit with our racist friends and family and eat apple pie and drink lemonade, the warmth that we would feel knowing that we were a nation based on values, real values, even though we were all racists, or there was a lot of racism at least, still the values would be so strong that it wouldn't really be that. It would be worth trading the civil rights movement back in to get back to that golden period of time. I mean, what else could it mean to refer to those as the good old days, right? And today, when we react with moral outrage, when some group is forced to acknowledge that gay people exist, or someone's trying to levy a tax against us that we feel is too much, or someone's says something that could be construed as someone perhaps one day thinking about taking someone's gun away from them, we can react with the most exaggerated sense of injustice, because this is ushering in the destruction of our great nation. I mean, and you can do this from a religious point of view, that God is disgusted at the state of our country and the way that we have turned our back on him, but like he was totally on board with the 100 years of slavery we had and the 100 years of segregation. He was totally cool with all of that. But see, we're not saying that he's totally cool with it, just that he didn't think it was that big of a deal. I mean, from a moral point of view, those things aren't that big of a deal. I mean, not when you're comparing it to a tax. And I mean, or you can do it from a secular point of view, and this is just marking the destruction of our nation, the moral corruption. It's just too much, and you could say, like, are things really more corrupt today than the 100 years of slavery and the 100 years of segregation? And it's not that we're saying that those things were bad, just that they're not as bad as someone losing their right to own an assault rifle. I mean, you have to keep things in perspective here. It's not about minorities, it's about priorities. And so, just because the Republican Party believes in a lot of things and believes in a lot of the ideas of the past where black people were mistreated, that doesn't mean we believe that mistreatment was good, just that it was worth it. That's all. I mean, where we're losing out here, the reason that 97% of black people are voting for Obama is because of the entitlement mindset. You see, we became a nation of people with this entitlement mindset, that they believe that they're entitled to their civil rights, that is more important, that they don't actually yearn for the past, for the mentality of the 1950s like we do. They believe that it's worth sacrificing lemonade and apple pie. I mean, you can still get those, but the warm and fuzzy feeling, it's worth sacrificing that warm and fuzzy feeling of lemonade, apple pies, racist friends and family, and a society of values in order for them to have their civil rights. That's that entitlement mindset. And that is why the Republican Party is not doing well with black people. It's the entitlement mindset. We're not racist.